Welcome to the beginning of the podcast being recorded on the proper night, Tuesday night. Feel it'll be a better effort. Wednesday night threw us off last week. It was a shit effort. We disappointed the crowd. It's almost like Taylor Swift didn't show up at the podcast. She's not dating any of us. Fuck them. Anyways, 400% uptick in merchandise sales for whoever the hell that guy is she's dating on the Arizona Chiefs or Cardinals or whatever fucking football team it is. 400% increase.
So what you're saying is to get our merch store up and running, you
Ooh.
need to date someone famous.
Well, the Taylor Swift effect was a 400% increase. Now, I don't know if I never heard of that person before, although
Same.
I'm not a football fan at all. I have no use for it. So I'd never heard that. So maybe the sales pre Taylor Swift were zero. So if the sales were zero, a 400% increase isn't that much. They sold 4 shirts. But anyways, I don't know what the old percentages were, so it's hard to have the new percentages.
True.
Yeah. So what's happened to you guys this week?
Had a hell of a weekend. It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Yeah, it is Tuesday.
Yeah. We took a tree order this morning and spent all day planting. We planted 14 trees today, or 14 mature trees, which isn't really a lot for us in a day. And 100, would you call them immature trees?
Like potted trees?
Potted trees, yeah.
Yeah, potted trees. 100 potted trees and 14 mature trees seems like not a bad day.
It was, looking back, it was not a bad day. But
now they're all in the wrong spot and you need to move them all?
No.
Oh, that's disappointing. That would have made for a better episode. The fact you put in a bunch of trees in the right place is actually kind of fucking boring. No one comes here to hear your boring shit about how you put trees in the right place, Chad. Is at least one tree in the wrong fucking place?
Well, yes. So we were planting this 100 clump of trees on the opposite side of the swale. It was like a reforestation thing, right? And so before we started, I told the guys, put everything that we need into the center of the pile, and we'll then transplant it, move it from the center of the pile down the highway to where we're planting it. Okay, everybody got it. By the time we were done planting, someone had forgot 10 blue spruce. So instead of going and sprinkling them throughout the job, they decided to stick sticks of these fucking blue spruce at the very end in a clump. It's like, and it's 4:30 at this point. There's no fuel for the machines. Like, we're running dry. I'm just like, we're going to deal with this tomorrow. Someone is going to dig up those spruce trees and move them.
I would like to point out that still no one is parking at the side of the building after like 6 weeks of the one text message about don't park there for a couple days. But today, again, someone came flying into the yard and 2 trucks were idling for like half an hour. I'm like, so I approached the offenders and said, I don't get the disconnect here. This is important shit. Stop fucking doing those things because we're going to get kicked out of the yard. And you can also start parking at the side of the building.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got to park over there. You sent a text message. What the fuck are you talking about? That was 6 weeks ago. Don't park at the side of the building for 2 fucking days. Don't idle trucks in the yard. Don't come speeding into the yard. We'll keep doing that shit. Like, I feel like I'm not, if I could communicate everything as well as parking locations, my life would be easy. So you have the same problem with the blue spruce.
Yeah. I gave them a bit too much leash on that one. I asked too much of the guys.
Here's a general rule. If someone I want people to make decisions because I think that's important. The company can't move forward if people aren't actively making decisions. If I have to make every single decision for every single person for every day, it won't. It the company won't move forward in any way. So, but to me, there's two kinds of decisions. There's the decision. There's two kinds of wrong decisions. There's a decision you made with the best interests at heart and the best of integrity, and it just didn't work out for you. And you took all the information, you gathered it, and you made a decision that was bad and it didn't work out. And I'm okay with that decision because that's a decision where someone took time, effort, they can explain their thought process, why they did it, why, and we can work through why it didn't work and why maybe we'll look at it in a different way next time. And that's called a learning experience. Planting 6 blue spruce at the end of the job, at the end of the day, that's a lazy decision.
Yeah. It's
And
the
that's a
lazy
fucked up decision. Yeah. And I can't stand that because that's just, you'd be better to have not planted the trees.
Absolutely.
And said, hey, we're tired. We have no fuel. We can't distribute these trees throughout the whole fucking job. So my decision is to leave them for tomorrow morning. That's a better decision than the lazy man decision of saying, let's slam 6 blue spruce right here. The architect won't walk for this far back on the job and no one will ever know. Which is a guarantee is everything that went through those people's heads before they slammed those 6 blue spruce in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was
lazy decisions piss me off.
It was prefaced by the fact that hours earlier I had told the guys we're not leaving until this bed is planted.
Mm.
So I think that sort of forced their hand into the bad decision. Not excusing it, but that may have been what
the bad decision
right?
Still at NDL there's extreme ownership. So you are still owning their bad decision by saying, me telling them they can't leave until this garden is planted really is what led down the path of the 6 blue spruce getting installed in the.
Well, I just think back to early on in my landscape career. That is absolutely what I would have done. You know, when my boss says we're not leaving until this is done, then you're going to cut corners at the end.
I agree with you.
Right. And I think it's just an inexperienced thing.
On your part?
No, on their part. They should have known better, but I mean, how can you expect them to after only a couple months or whatever?
Why are these new people?
Fairly new. Brandini was in there. Mike was in there. Yeah, Brandini was in there. Jesse, who is developmentally challenged, but a phenomenal worker. Great attitude on the guy.
Do you think they would just wanted to make that small area of the job site
like
a bit more Christmassy? Like they know that the fall is coming and they thought if we can just make this site a bit more Christmassy, it'll be better for everyone on this reforestation project.
I doubt anybody will ever look there.
Who reforests with blue spruce? Like, that's not even a natural tree in Ontario, I don't think.
I don't know, but they're sprinkling these things everywhere. And it's not only that, but as far as I know, we have these Austrian pines, which I've never planted an Austrian pine before. And you can't tell me the difference between an Austrian pine and a white pine.
Well, white pine is very thin, soft needles. I would say to you, an Austrian pine and a Scotch pine.
Okay. Again, like
a white pine is a very particular. It's my favorite tree. It's very particular, very soft needle. It brushes against you. They fall into everything and fuck up everything because they're so fine. Yeah.
So I have no formal training in planting at all.
Oh, well.
Everything I know, I've learned on the job. Everything I've made up, it's because someone before me has used that excuse planting before. Right? Like when I'm talking to the architects and stuff, I'm bullshitting my way through this.
So a white pine is a reforestation item because it's a naturally occurring tree in Ontario. An Austrian pine, hence the name, Austrian pine, may or may not be a naturally occurring tree in Ontario. I don't know. Like, someone came to Canada and was like, Wow, that's an Austrian pine. It probably came from Austria. I
Mm.
actually don't know that much about plants either, but it seems like things called Austrian pines probably aren't native.
It's anyway, the Austrian pines are supposed to be a meter tall. They're supposed to be in pots.
Yeah.
Well, the nursery didn't have meter tall Austrian pines. So we got 2 meter tall Austrian pines, which, if you plant trees at all, are in fucking 32-inch baskets or something. They're just huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't disperse them in the planter bed very easily, right? Like you need the 8-ton
So
shovel to come
you're
down
digging a big
and
hole.
yeah, plant your way out of this flower bed so you can keep going. Right? Just
Jeez.
it
They
would a
must
hell
look
of a
ridiculous too because all the other trees are tiny.
are tiny, and then we have these big things. I wonder if that's going to be an issue. I bet it will now that we brought it up. The architect's going to say those are way too big. They don't
But
match.
the growth of this forest is going to be the native growth of this native forest is going to be stunted by those ridiculously huge Austrian pines.
Meanwhile, there's dead ash everywhere around it. Nobody bothered to cut it, take it down.
Oh yeah, well that's good. It's better for the salamanders when they fall over.
Oh, yeah, the salamanders. Um,
Mm.
we planted a bunch of elm for the first time as well, which I didn't think we were still planting around here.
We used to we used to plant a lot of trembling aspen on a
Oh yeah,
reforestation project.
those are money.
See those little leaves moving,
Yeah,
trembling.
they're just
Yeah.
tiny ones. Sumac.
The red osier dogwood is always a traditional.
Mm, none of
That's a
those on this job.
wow. That's a
No
reforestation.
dogwood.
That is a reforestation. Fucking. That is normally a key to reforestation in Ontario. Is red osier dogwood.
No dogwood on this one. We have cottonwood on this one, which is
Cotton.
new. And the tops of them are just flopping over in the wind and stuff. I said, this is great to put right beside a fucking overpass.
Oh, are you working on the overpass, Joe?
Oh yeah, this is the overpass job.
I see.
It's a hell of a job. My God. Great. But this is the biggest stress of my season is this job.
That is
That's
a
not
big
bad.
angle.
I
I'm looking at your picture on.
It doesn't do it justice. Like if I had a hard time, like I had the plan in one hand and nothing in the other hand, and I had a hard time climbing this slope. You're almost 4 points of contact going up and down this thing.
Yeah, there's a person walking up the hill and on his tiptoes. Like it really. If you look at this picture you have on Instagram, this guy strolling up the hill, and if you really blow up his toes, you can tell that's some kind of fucking slope. Like, you got to blow up. You should. I think you should like crop that and say these guys. This guy is a trooper, man. These are serious fucking slopes.
Yeah, they're quite the team. On that note, we were thinking, I'm really happy that we brought this 8-ton shovel out, or that we bought the 8-ton shovel altogether, right? Like before this season, there was no 8-ton. There was no need for an 8-ton. But we put more hours on that machine this year than both of our other shovels combined. So
Yeah, but do you like a very smart person once said to me, "People only call you for what you have."
yeah.
Do you
But so I had this job
or
before
something
we
like
had
that?
this shovel, right?
Yeah, but you would have found a way to get it done with the shovels you had.
Yeah.
You would have walked up that slope and then put the blade down and leveled up the 4-ton and then swung the trees, hoping it didn't tip over to the side on the, with only the front of the tracks touching and the blade at the back. You know, you would have done that. That's what would have
Yeah.
happened because you had a 4-ton last year, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we still have the 4-ton, but
Yeah. So, you just find a different way.
you just find a different way, I suppose. But
This is it. What you could say is having an 8-ton made this job way easier.
absolutely. Yeah. Having a tilt rotator made this job way easier.
I don't see how there's any advantage to
that.
So you can put the tree in the bucket and spin the bucket around from the bottom and place the tree into its little hole and just feather it out into its
Can you just do that
landing
with
space.
some chains?
No, because the chains can't get high enough.
Then you got to walk up the hill a bit, put the blade down, and level the fucking machine.
It was all that's the thing. We were already walking up the hill a little bit to do that. So they put these trees in
You
the
know what you
absolute
need?
worst spot.
The freedom jib.
I do
That's
need a
very
freedom
true.
jib.
If you had the freedom jib, you could put those trees right in.
I think those are illegal in Canada.
Freedom jibs?
Yeah, along the lines of hunting
That's-
rifles and
We're too busy having standing ovations in Parliament for actual Nazis. Not people that are calling other people random Nazis, like you're a Nazi. Actual Nazis that killed actual Jewish people in the Second World War. We actually do standing ovations for them in our Parliament.
Is this true? Like I saw this
Yeah,
headline. Is
100% true. Yeah, 100%.
really?
The speaker from the House of Commons apologized.
he resigned today as well.
Oh, did he over it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid
Wow.
fuck.
So Trudeau, he said the speaker apologized and then focused on Russian propaganda. He never actually apologized for it. So the speaker actually apologized,
No.
or the speaker actually
Resigned. Yeah,
resigned. Wow.
it's on the news.
Yeah. Then that's a serious. Yeah, that's Canada for you. What I thought was really interesting was I saw a comparison between, because obviously we're also in a war with India now.
Right.
So
I don't know. It's
saw,
an actual war. Yeah.
well, I know I saw so there's a member of parliament in India who's calling for an invasion of Canada now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they did a comparison on their military. They did a comparison on the Indian military versus the Canadian military. And there's more people in the Indian military than live in our country. Like they will wipe us out. They have 10 times the jets, 10 times they're like a world superpower. If Biden does not help us, they're going to start in Newfoundland and slowly move across the country. And we will just get obliterated by them. There's 1 billion people living in India or something.
I think there's something to be said for the logistics of being in North America. We're a little far from all the rest of the world's shit.
They have 4 times as many warships as we do.
Oh, I'm not doubting they could get here.
Oh, they could get
right. Here. But the logistics of living in North America put you in a pretty good spot.
Luckily, we've aligned ourselves with the Nazis, so they'll help us out. It seems like off topic of our normal podcast, but our country is fucked up.
Our country is fucked.
Like totally fucked up. Like
we're all Maybe that's why they're planting those Austrian pine.
Are they approved? Are they approved by that guy? What was that guy's name? Heinrich Homer or something? That they were. It was the
Yaroslav Hunka.
Yeah,
is that the one? 98-year-old.
Apparently, a small Google search will, that's even before this incident. A small Google search would have immediately told you that this guy was a Nazi.
I thought you can't Google the news.
Right, exactly. Right?
Yeah. It's Canada. You can't blame the speaker.
Yeah,
you tried Googling it and nothing came up.
Google the news. So it's fuck. Oh, yeah. Our country is a fuck show. Mike's reading this article going, I can't believe this is actually true.
Yeah, because I saw the headline and I thought I just brushed it off like that can't be real. Like they're probably just calling Pierre Poilievre a Nazi just out of jest, right? But I can't believe this is actually true.
This is an actual, I mean, this guy's 98. How hard did they have to look across the globe to find a Nazi that was alive? Dude, this shit happened in 1944.
Yeah.
It's fucking 2024, basically. That was fucking 80 years ago? How hard did they have to look to find this motherfucker? This guy was 18.
Yeah, I assume that the Ukrainian president brought him along with them because the Ukrainian president gave an address, and then I think I don't know invited this gentleman up, and he got a standing ovation or something because he's also Ukrainian.
Yeah, he's a Ukrainian Nazi.
Yeah,
he was in charge of murdering the Russian Jews that were in the northern part of Ukraine.
Right.
That was his job. That's what he did. He went around murdering Russian Jews. Thank God we gave him a standing ovation for that.
Man.
He's been waiting 80 years to get his standing ovation for this shit. He's been biding his time, waiting 80 years to finally know, yes, Canada's finally giving me my due for slaughtering people during World War II 80 years ago. Like, that is the most fucked up thing. Look, we better find some real Nazis. They're all dead except for this guy. Bring him over.
This guy.
Fucking, holy shit.
But Trudeau calls it deeply embarrassing.
He didn't apologize.
Deeply embarrassing.
Yeah. He didn't apologize. He called it deeply embarrassing and then started talking about Russian propaganda. Like, why? I don't understand what the Russian well, it's him not answering a question. So,
how long do we have until the next election?
Well, and whenever Jagmeet Singh, I've read some stuff that says the reason that we're not having another election is because, and a lot of this fight with India is based around Jagmeet Singh, because his brother is one of these people that's trying to separate that part of India. And so that Jagmeet Singh saying, if you don't support the separation of this other state from India, I'm going to cause an election in Canada.
Don't we want an election?
It's in another 2 years.
No, but Trudeau doesn't want one.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why he's fighting with India, supposedly. I don't know.
This is ridiculous.
Totally.
This whole thing is ridiculous.
Yes. It's crazy. It's like we're a fake country.
We're not even real.
It's like we're not even a real country anymore. Like,
we don't have news. We don't like. What kind of a country doesn't have news?
Apparently, the same shit happened in Australia,
yeah.
And then all in Australia, all the social media companies folded their tent and
cut deals with them.
Cut deals with the news or whatever, so that they could start putting the news out. But I guess they're taking a harder stand here because
it's very close to home, I think.
Yeah, they're worried that the states will follow suit.
Yeah, I think there are some states trying to do the same thing, and Europe is kind of following suit as well. So I do think it's kind of the sign of the times. It's just, if you take that stand, it's difficult when there's forest fires to point the finger at the person you're taking the stand against, right?
Yeah.
Well, these new Austrian pine don't catch fire.
Okay.
So, that's why they're involved.
Want to hear an interesting, like, this has nothing to do with anything business related or podcast related, but it's a proof of like a broken telephone. So my daughter has two friends. They're twins. They're 16. She's 15. So just to put in perspective the age of the girls where this is going on, she played soccer with them years ago. She reacquainted with them in high school. They have a good relationship, and their father is a firefighter, a very accomplished firefighter, with a vast amount of knowledge. He's a trainer. He does all kinds of stuff. I used to talk to him when Paisley played on the same team with the girls, and so he went to China. And I said to Paisley, "Oh, why did he go to China?" And Paisley said, "Oh, he's teaching English there for a couple months." And I thought, wow, I was feeling pretty bad about myself and my accomplishments when I just think of this guy and how much he knows about fighting fires and saving people's lives and how much he's dedicated himself. And I've basically done the same shit digging tree holes since I was 14. And now this guy is flying across the world to teach English. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But today the guy was at a cross-country meet and bumped into Kelly. And he was actually in China for 10 days teaching firefighting. So, he wasn't there for 2 months teaching English. Like, it just, and I was like, that's a broken telephone. And that's the problem when no one has news and everything just becomes a broken telephone of whatever someone says.
We have a lot of broken telephone at work where the message doesn't quite get through. the way it's supposed to get through, or it goes through the wrong person. The message is fine, but it goes through the wrong person, and then it fucks up the whole thing.
Like where to put the blue spruce?
Like where to put the blue spruce. Yeah.
Well, see, this morning when you said we're not going home till this planter's done, by the end of the day in the broken telephone, that had become Chad's going to kill us if we don't finish this job, and he's going to bury us with the 8-ton. So we better just put these spruce in wherever we can.
Wherever we can.
So we don't die.
You won't notice them from the top of the bridge, looking down, where you can see every single fucking plant in this planter. No one's going to look there.
Guys, we have a caller coming in, so I'm going to kind of veer off the conversation here and let in our caller here.
Coming in. No one told me about a caller. I'm out of here. I did not agree to a caller.
We've got a caller joining us here, and you guys may recognize him. He's posted a story in response to one of our episodes in the past. We've got Mark from Green Monster Landscapes here. Mark
holy
is the gentleman that had the slab drop into the swimming pool.
I've done other things too, you know.
Of course, yes. But just
it doesn't always have to be about the Blue Grande slab that fell in the swimming pool. But I guess if that's my claim to fame, we'll just have to run with it.
It's way better than my claim to fame. So you can take that as a win. But,
so I thought it'd be good to have Mark on the show to kind of go through the events that happened there.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, be careful, because if this is considered news, you're in the States, right, Mark?
Yeah, I'm in New Hampshire.
Yeah, so we're in Canada. So if this is considered news at all, it will get banned, because our government doesn't allow the spreading of news. So just be careful. Choose your words wisely.
Paver oppression.
Paver oppression. Blue Grande oppression. I guess we'll be careful. So just choose your words wisely here, Mark, and we'll state from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm always really careful.
This is not factual news, so that the Canadian government doesn't shut down the podcast.
We wouldn't want that now, would we?
No.
Yeah, well, we're free to have whatever kind of podcast we want here. So,
yeah, Andy pointed that out last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, freedom. Do you have a Freedom tilt deck?
Or do you have
oppression ramps?
Yeah, I have a deck over, but I have oppression ramps on everything. So yeah.
You don't have a Freedom tilt deck.
Yeah, I may have to get one of those.
Is that a thing in New Hampshire too? Tilt decks?
I've had tilt decks before, but the last time I had one, I had a guy tried to take a 6-ton off of it without releasing the pin. Yeah, he bent the shit out of it, and then it was never the same. So
yikes.
Yeah,
I could see how that. Yeah,
I've always been a little gun shy since then, but
sort of like vacuum lifters in pools.
Yeah, I'm kind of gun shy of those at the moment right now too. But
how did it happen? Like, what? Describe. Like, what happened? What was it? The lifter? Was it the cord? Was it?
No. It was just it was a tool pave lifter, and
was it the DeWalt battery?
What's that?
Was it the DeWalt battery?
No, it's to do dry cast. You have to put it. Change out. Yeah, you don't use the battery for that part. You put an air venturi on it, and then hook it up to a compressor.
Yeah.
And so we were swinging them around, and we couldn't reach where we were laying them. So we would swing them over, drop it, and then 2 people would pick it up and put it in place. So, I mean, the pad that we had on it does lift it, but we found out that like every 5th or 6th one, it didn't get a good seal on. So I'm guessing it was that specific mold, that one specific mold on that paver that it didn't like. So we eventually put the bigger pad on there to swing them over, and then they picked them up with the smaller one and put it in place. So yeah.
Did it hit the bottom before you got it to it?
Oh yeah. I didn't jump in that quick. I had to strip down to my Speedo, and all that stuff before I could jump in the pool. So,
what kind of pool was it? That was an active debate.
It was a gunite pool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're really it didn't scrape down the side or just landed on the bottom, and I just dove in and grabbed it and worked it up to the shallow end and figured it out.
We saw you
We saw that.
working it up to the shallow end. That was
So
how viral did that video go? Did it really go
It
viral?
didn't. No.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I
Not
know, right?
yet.
That's
It's
probably
not
like
too
the
late.
most. That's got to be the most disappointing part of the whole thing. Is like it didn't even go viral.
Why
No
were you
kidding.
were you recording it for the social media, or you just
I actually had like not recorded anything all week. I had it was a wicked shitty week and like all kinds of drama here, and so like I was just like, well, I should probably get some content this week, because you're supposed to do that every day, anyways. So I had actually just started recording right around that time frame, and that's of course when it happened. So, yep, it was. Some people asked me if it was staged. I assure you, it was not staged.
No.
Not staged.
You also, yeah, go ahead, PK.
No, I'm just saying I was surprised it did. I thought it was a viral video for sure.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
feels like it should be, right? But
Oh yeah,
who
100%.
knows? You never know. Well, maybe I'll go cut some sod tomorrow with a quick cut, and maybe that will go viral.
Now, when this happens, do you tell the homeowner that you dropped a paver in their pool, or
Nah,
do you
I
just no?
I didn't tell them. No.
That's a good
I
question.
don't know. I mean, there was no damage, so like no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
The
not
good
I
thing-
wasn't hiding it from him, but I
The
didn't
good
see
thing
any
about a
reason
Blue
to.
Grande is it would float to down because it's got a lot of
Yeah.
I think
a big
it's like
wingspan.
you had the ability to like zoom in on the video, like I could here on my own phone. It did kind of like it was almost like a feather like falling out of the sky. Yeah. It wasn't just like this boom straight.
That's how I describe it if the client asks if I dropped a paver in their pool. Yeah, but it was like a
Exactly.
feather hitting the bottom.
Yeah, right. It just gently landed on the
It was
bottom.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, everything was fine. I'm just glad it didn't land on that brand new concrete coping.
Right.
That would have been way worse.
You did mention that would be pretty bad, eh?
Yeah, they
That's
just had
exposed aggregate.
Yeah, they redid the coping in
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe June or July, and it was like we were supposed to do this rebuild last year, and they couldn't get the pool company in to do the coping, so this sort of project just dragged on the books for a while. So,
If this happened in November, what would you have done?
oh man, that would have been bad.
Ooh,
I had to. I got in a pool in November, probably circa 2017, 18, something like that. I had to get in the pool in a wetsuit in order to like seal up the light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
is
that was
it sealing up a light in a pool the same as sealing up a light in a patio?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's probably if you have to redo those inlights, maybe, or those light ins, it might be. It might be that bad. I don't know. I actually pre-ordered a bunch of that stuff in the spring. I thought they were cool and all, and then I talked to some people who, I've never used any of them, but I have a box of light-in stuff in my garage that I've never put in. I'll probably put them in at home, and if they don't work, I can just.
We would recommend using the right drill bit and the freedom, the hammer of freedom.
You got to have a freedom hammer, the right drill bit. What else? There must be something else.
Maybe install them at the edge of the patio.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually have put them in once. I put in 3 of them in front of a garage last year, and knock on wood, they're still working.
Nice.
Isn't like New Hampshire license plates say something about freedom on them?
Oh yeah. We're live free or die state.
That's what it says on the license plates. Live free.
Yeah, everyone says like, "Oh, live free or die" when they want to do what they want to do. But then, like, if someone else is different than them,
I feel
you're
that.
enabled. So, but whatever, it's fine.
Are you guys the only state that? I think you guys are the only state that it says that.
Live free or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our state motto. Yeah. So I guess I really should have a tilt deck if that's the case. Probably shouldn't sell anything else here, right?
Are freedom jibs illegal in New Hampshire?
Freedom what?
Jibs. The jib of
Jibs?
freedom.
Oh, yeah. If I had like that Boulder 10,000, I probably would not. That wouldn't have happened.
On the jib? Well, I guess it was the vacuum that failed, though, not the excavator.
Well, yeah, but I would have been able to set up differently.
Oh, and go over the
And and then I would have been able to set right from the machine and not have to hand it off, and I would have used the bigger lifter. See,
Jim, does your excavator have a tilt rotator?
What about tilt rotator?
Does your excavator have a tilt rotator?
Yeah, we have 2 actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Chad likes having you here then.
Yeah, I'm not alone anymore.
And we actually do have a Mulder 10,000 jib boom on order.
Ooh,
wow!
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I don't have one of those big 8-ton, so they had to modify it a little bit because my machines are like.
Did you order the jib boom after the incident or before?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was like in that time frame. It might have been. Well, yeah, I was kind of aggravated because like I've been putting it off, and then this whole event happened, and I was like, yeah, it must have been after. It must have been after. That's usually what makes me finally bite the bullet and do something. It's like getting bit in the ass, and then I was like, I guess I should spend the money.
What goes through your head immediately after it falls from the vacuum lifter? Is it immediately I need to get in there and go get it, or was there any hesitation there?
No, it was like a super hot week, anyways.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was like, it was like 90s that week. So it was like, I'll just jump in and get it. And like I said, it had been such a crappy week, anyways. It was sort of like, well, this is no surprise. This is kind of like how my whole week's been going. So let's just jump in and get it.
You find 2023 to just be a grind?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we're still working on projects we booked either last year or over the winter. And like, we're probably a month behind where I thought we'd be right now. But we've had a crappy summer here. A lot of rain. Yeah, a ton of rain every week. So we haven't like completely lost a whole lot of days, but it just slows everything down. It just makes it harder, and it makes a mess of all the job sites and more cleanup. And yeah, it's just been a hassle. Some short days, things like that.
I was dropping a bin.
Yeah, I guess it's been a grind, I guess. I
was dropping off a bin today, and I was talking to the contractor, and I just said, I feel like I take 2 steps forward, then someone punches me in the face really hard, and I take 1.5 steps backwards, and then I stumble forward, and someone punches me in the gut, and I stumble backwards, and and he said he was having the same experience this year, where it's just sort of a grinding sort of get through the year.
I think that describes landscaping as a whole, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, and then I was thinking when you said, I got to make content on top of all the other fucking shit that landscape contractors have had to do all the years, like for years, like there's so much stuff. And now we also have to make content on a daily basis. Like it's just
every day.
When you said it, I was like, wow, I just never occurred to me that way. I don't use mine to drive any business though either. So there's that. I guess that's the difference. Like it never occurred to me. I never thought about it, but you're right. You need to, which could be why I'm in the place I'm in. But if you are thinking about driving your business forward with it, like it's just another job, another thing you're doing.
Yeah, it is. It's just, another whole, one more thing you got to do.
I feel like you need to share that video with some of those like places that show like Fail Army.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll have to repost it and tag some of those people,
Yeah.
Or maybe you could throw it in like with a pizza review or something. maybe gain some traction. You should underlie some viral music and then turn the sound down to 0, or just let that music be the video. Yeah, I don't know. I've like, you're always kind of like testing that crap, like what makes something go viral or whatnot, but people fight. The music has never worked for me, like viral music. And it's always horrible music anyway, so I always steer away from it. Jeremy from J Squared posted a thing on his story today that he has a video with 50 million views.
I saw that.
And yeah. Well, that's another way to go viral is cut sod with anything other than a sod cutter. Yes. So like a demo saw, a tilt rotator, like those will go viral. So people just love to see sod being cut with anything other than what you think you'd cut sod with. So I opened up the video to see
I've watched that video a bunch of times. Well, it's come up a bunch of times in my feed or whatever. I've seen it before. But when he posted it today in his story, I opened it up and then I opened up the comments. And what I think makes videos go viral is there's 132 comments of people fighting about whether he's a lazy piece of crap, why he can't do it that way. And if there's one person fighting on there that he's going to blow the tilt rotator head because he rotates it so much and he shouldn't be doing stuff like that with it. I'm like, if you can't do stuff like that with it, why the fuck would you buy it?
Yeah. Well,
like, I don't.
It used to be you only had to worry about turning your excavator too much one way, or you'd unscrew it. Now you got to worry about unscrewing the bucket too.
The tilt rotator. But I think that people going to war on your post is really what makes it go viral.
Yeah, that probably helps. We should just create like a union where we all jump in on each other's posts all the time and just fight, like create drama and arguments and internet fights.
Definitely.
And help everyone's videos go viral, right?
No pizza reviews ever go viral, just for the record.
I don't know why. I mean, those are the best.
Oh, I do. They're not great.
No, okay, maybe they're not.
They're not great. It's not the best pizza.
I enjoy them, even though,
Okay, I can accept that.
I don't see any Canadian pizza in my future, but
people don't argue about pizza.
That's true.
Yeah,
what's not to like, right?
Yeah, people argue about pizza.
But Mark and Chad both have tilt rotators. They should have plenty of reels going viral, right? Based off of throw up a tilt rotator reel and put some viral music against it.
Yeah, I have to look. I don't really have any viral videos I've ever made, but
no, me neither.
I'm guessing probably the ones with the most views are probably the tilt rotator ones.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I don't think I'm followed by any potential customers. I'm just followed by people like you guys. That doesn't do me any good anyway.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole bunch of them. You get lots of business from this? No, never.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Since day one, it was just other contractors. That's all it is that follow. It's just literally other contractors. It's never
pretty much.
It's I have a video with 1.1 million views.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's my my demo saw trimming was like 1 million views. But like, it's the stupidest video ever. I don't understand. Yeah, I really don't. And then you like these reels and videos of like what I think is like some pretty cool stonework and stuff, and like no one cares. But then you make a tree ring with a demo saw, and people love it. I don't get it.
So the two most viral videos I ever posted, I mean, I think I'm up to almost 5,000 posts. The two most viral ones I posted, one of them has a 1.1 million, and it's literally it's a weird trailer that side dumps armor stone. Nothing from me is in it. It's just a trailer side dumping armor stone, which has nothing to do. And the other one, the back end of one of my trucks, and there's some guys using it to put pea gravel into a chute. Those are the two most viral, and neither of them have anything to do with Paver King or me. Well, one of them, the back of our truck, but it's just a dump truck. It doesn't like there's no branding, no man.
Like out of coal chutes or something?
Yeah, there's the trucks have like an asphalt chute on the back.
Yeah.
In New Hampshire, it might be a coal chute, but in this country, we don't use coal. We have windmills. Yeah,
there's not a lot of coal in New Hampshire either. I'm not sure why we call them coal chutes, but yeah, we have them in one of our trucks, our bigger truck.
It has, so the other videos, like guys filling wheelbarrows full of pea gravel with it. And the reason that one's viral is because there's an argument that they're lazy because they should have dumped the pea gravel and shoveled it into the wheelbarrows.
Yes, right. We only dump stone from coal chutes into a tilt rotator now.
Oh, well.
That's it.
You should make that video.
There might be one of those out there.
That's true laziness. Coal chute to tilt rotator.
Yeah. Laziness is my new goal.
Shouldn't it be everyone's goal? Really?
Yeah, it really should. I do love the arguments when people tell you you're lazy when it's like, there's also a thing to be said about longevity, I guess, doing it the easy way.
It's probably people not in our industry or not in construction at all.
Yeah, it's also sometimes, I think I'm probably older than DK, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm 50.
I'm about to turn 52.
He wins.
Yeah. Yay, I win. Yeah. But like,
who do you think is going to live longer, me or you? There's the real competition.
Oh, I don't know. I feel
I
like
do.
I could.
I know exactly who's going to live longer.
No, I don't know.
I
I feel
have
like
all
I
the
could.
confidence
I
in
have
the
so many
world.
ailments. I feel like I could die any day now, and I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what happens when you get to be 50 and you're a landscaper.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say was like doing everything the hard way, or like, oh, I can, lay this pallet faster by hand than with the suction lifter. Well, yeah, this pallet you can, and maybe for 4 more years you can, but eventually, like laying hundreds of thousands of square feet over your career, like it catches up to you. So, like, we didn't have this crap 20 years ago when I first started.
No.
So,
we did
it's silly not to use it now.
We did a driveway where it was 80 mil, it was blue 80, and it was, I don't know, 1,200 square feet. And the guys on site, there was 3 of us. One was 50. I was 48, and I was the youngest. There was a 51-year-old and a 65-year-old. That's who's laying this driveway. So I got a lift uni or whatever, and I took a lot of heat online for it because like you guys could have done that faster. I'm like, and to your point, today maybe,
Yeah.
well, that day no. But even with it, it took us. We laid it in a day, like split between 2 days, one afternoon and one half day the next day. I don't know. 3 old people would have laid it any faster.
1,200 square feet, 3 guys in one day, basically.
Yeah,
and you didn't have to carry every one of them.
I mean, yeah, we didn't move. We literally put in the whole driveway with it. I was like, I don't know why anyone wouldn't want this. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people just look at it strictly from the standpoint of speed, and if it's not as fast as I'm doing it by hand, then they go the other way. But I mean, that's not the only benefit of it. So.
I think if I was employee, I would much rather work where there was a tilt rotator and a vacuum lifter. Neither of things do I have at our company.
Yeah.
But you don't do brickwork anymore, so
I don't know.
Those are my 2 favorite things. I don't know if I could stay in this trade any longer if I didn't have those anymore.
Yeah, and then you do mostly big slabs now?
We do a lot of stone. So like with the suction lifters, we're doing probably I'd say if I had to put a number on it, at least 75 to 80% stone versus machine laid. Yeah. I've only done machine laid slabs this year, and prior to that, it would have been stone or like smaller pavers.
So you can rack up the one in the pool as inexperience.
Exactly. Yeah.
A learning curve.
Learning. Yes, that was a learning moment for all of us.
Really, for everybody.
Well, I learned, and then I taught you the lesson.
Share with the world.
Yes, sharing my knowledge.
A guru of sorts.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, one could argue that. I wouldn't, but I thought it was funny when you guys were talking about it on the Freedom episode, and Chad was like, "We don't have any policies in my company, but if we had one, it would be no slinging over a pole." And I'm like, wow, I have less policies than Chad.
I'm scraping the bottom there.
I have less policy.
That's great.
That was kind of a reality check right there. So
I have less policies than Chad.
Yeah, so I got to get on the internet now. I think I'm going to buy somebody's handbook so that
Someone just released their life story.
Their what?
Life story.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can buy that. You sent it to me.
Oh, a book, right?
Yeah, a book. Life story. Yeah, it was released this week.
Like a landscaper?
Landscape Guru's life story was released this week.
Oh, okay. Was it like someone we know, or like one of those gurus you don't like?
Yeah, he's pretty mainstream.
He's pretty mainstream.
All right.
That's on the nose.
That's right on the nose, baby. So, audio, hardcover, or soft cover. Available always. All three ways. It's a three-way.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Three-way.
I wonder if you get like you can get a bundle to save money.
Bundle it together.
Yeah, get all three.
Collector's editions.
The whole ball is something.
The whole ball.
And then maybe you could bring them like to HNA or something and get them autographed.
Have you been to HNA?
No, I've never been actually. I'm thinking about going this year, but I haven't.
That's a couple weeks away.
I know. I haven't like financially or committed to it via reservations, but if I'm going to do it, I guess I got to do it this
How far is New Hampshire from HNA?
Oh, geez, that's far. Yeah. Well, I just went. I went to the synced up thing last week, so I'm like, can I really lose another 3 or 4 days and a few more weeks? And
what was your experience?
The synced up event. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, we've been running the software for a year, or I'm sorry, what is it? Upsynced.
I don't know if we have any problems with them. So,
no.
Do you have a problem with them, Mike?
No, I have no problem with them.
No, I don't
okay, because you're the one that has the greatest potential to have a problem with them.
Why is that?
True. Yeah,
I don't know. You're like
competing software, right?
It's not competing. I don't think so.
No. What is it then?
Yeah, I would say it's complementary in this space.
Okay. Cool. All right. Woo, go Mike.
You got a good PR guy over there.
Yeah, Mike's got PR. It looked like a fun time. I'll say that online.
Yeah, it was. It was a good event from Synced Up and their whole team. It was kind of cool and fun to meet all of them. And then you of course also see all these other guys that like you talk to on Instagram all the time. You finally get to meet, and it sort of feels like you already know them.
Did you introduce yourself as the guy who dropped the slab?
I did get a lot of. Oh, you're the guy that dropped the slab in the pool.
Oh no.
Nice.
But it's like whatever. I don't shy away from it. So I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you got all.
I think it was funny because it caused no damage and no one got hurt. So it's
absolutely.
I find it humorous. So.
And it's better to be known for something like that than not known at all.
This is true. Yeah.
Right? You got it. You got an in now. You got a handle.
That's it. I'm always
on the slab dropping. Now you can make random videos of you dropping slabs all the time, and then you can cut them into one whole slab dropping video. But the new ones would have to be more intentional, probably.
They would probably have to be. Yeah.
Just make that your thing.
You get like
just lean into it so heavy.
You get an old car and then swing it over so the slab goes right through the sunroof.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I feel like that's got potential.
Yeah. Didn't didn't PMC Attachments do one of those where they dropped a boulder on like a car with their grapple?
Who did that? I think I saw MQuip do something like where they picked up a car with one of their vacuum lifters.
Oh, really?
But that was a few years ago.
We picked up a fridge.
Oh, did they?
I think we've tried to pick up a fridge.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We picked up some stuff we weren't supposed to pick up. Yeah. Well, maybe you are supposed to pick it up, but I mean, I always thought it was just for bricks. But
yeah, I've never
they said it left a dent.
Other than stone or papers.
Yeah.
Well,
that might be fun though. That could be fun.
Well, if you make a video that's viral of you dropping a slab through a sunroof, I want some credit. Don't be like Chad and Mike and steal my quotes and pretend they're your own.
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely tag you on that. Yeah. I want to give credit where credit is due.
Well, you can come on anytime then, because these two, they're happy to thieve anything that I say.
Yeah. Do they own up to it, or they play dumb?
No, they own up to it. Yeah, they're not pretending to not. Yeah, they're not doing it on the slide. They're like, yeah, we're taking your stuff.
We steal right in front of them.
Well,
and we're spreading it all over.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? So
Chad actually made them block my number so I couldn't be in the group chat.
Well, so there's only 2 of them in a group chat?
No, there was some. It was like a group chat of Caleb Allman started it.
Oh, okay.
Chad could have given him my number, but he refused.
He said
Well, no, I
PK
just
doesn't even
wanted him
have a
to.
number.
I wanted him to pay for your number. He wouldn't pay me to get your
Oh.
number.
Well, I can't imagine anyone would pay for my number. I don't think that's well, you can get it for free off our website.
I was going to say, it's probably not that hard to find, really, right?
I don't think
Or
it is. No,
the QR code on your bin.
we have no we put crowns on the bins.
Oh,
They look
yeah.
very nice.
Oh, you did do crowns. Then weren't they generic at some point? So like no one could
Yeah, the bins were
call and
totally
complain.
generic. Yeah. And then I started thinking maybe we should do some branding, but then I didn't want any kind of branding where any person could actually find us or contact us. So we just put crowns on the bins because I felt like all the local landscapers we deal with would recognize that it's our crown and they'd know it was our bin.
Yeah.
And a homeowner walking by would have no idea whose fucking bin it is. So
yeah, I didn't letter my last pickup truck because I figured, well, if I just drive around without any lettering on it, it just looks like a normal truck, and maybe like DOT would just leave me the hell alone.
yes, they don't bother me in the Veloster.
No, well, I have a
Even on
Subaru,
the
and
assets,
they don't
right?
touch me in the Subaru either. So
Yeah, they don't plug you in the Subaru.
no.
I have an awkward situation in the Veloster where I see other landscapers and I recognize their trucks and then I wave at them and they don't wave back because I'm in a Veloster. So I have this like odd. So now I see them and I don't wave at them because I don't want to feel like a fucking loser. But then I'm like, what if they recognize the Veloster? And then they're like, oh, Mike's an asshole. He's not waving at me. So it's just, I'm in this bad place.
What if you put a crown on the Veloster and people will know?
I kind of feel like you're making this all up and you don't really give a shit what they think about it.
Me? Well, I've known some of them for a long time. I wouldn't want them to think that I'm not their friend. I don't. Yeah, well, a lot of people, yeah, most of the time I couldn't give a shit. But like when some of the people I see on the road, I'm like, oh, that's like a guy I've known for 10 or 15 years and I'm waving, but then I'm like, Even my own, it happens even with my own trucks. Like I'm leaving the yard and they're going north to the yard and I'm like, oh, hi, Christy. And she just grows by. I'm like, I'm in the, oh yeah. It doesn't, it's just a gray car, a random gray car. So no one cares about it at all.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty nondescript and generic, right?
It is. Yeah. It's a very nondescript and generic.
There you go.
So I got this competing landscaper in town and one of his old workers works for me now. And I'm unsure whether I should wave at him every time we pass each other. What's the protocol there?
Did you wave before the employee?
We definitely waved before.
Is the employee any good?
He's not terrible.
Yeah. Well,
not by any means. Like he's
Does he have a valid license?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to Brandini, how good is he?
Oh.
So what's Brandini? You're calling Brandini a 10? Brandini's the 10 in this situation?
Is Brandini any good? I don't know.
Brandini is not a 10 lately, but he's a good worker.
I think I would keep waving until he gave you the finger.
Like wave the bitterness out of him.
Yeah.
Why is he bitter? You took his guy?
I think he's bitter. Took his guy.
What gives you that impression? Because he doesn't wave at you anymore?
Yeah, he doesn't really wave anymore. Maybe he just hasn't. Maybe it's been a couple times where he hasn't noticed, but I don't think he waves anymore.
Did his guy come to you, or did you go to his guy?
I don't go to anyone's guy. He came to me.
Yeah, I think it's on him then.
Yeah.
Did he come to you because he was unhappy with his previous work situation?
He came to me because he was unhappy with the hours that he was getting.
He wasn't getting enough hours or too many hours?
Not enough hours.
Well, that could be it could be a landscaping thing where people are working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and it's too many hours. Like that could be a legit. Like I'm tired of working every single Saturday. Like this guy's.
I'd be more concerned about that.
As a company policy, we tend not to work weekends, right? So that would have never crossed my mind, right? Because we just don't work 7 days straight.
I don't remember the last time we worked like at cruise. Like I try to avoid it. I think people need a break and before we did it, and then our production actually went up when we went to 5 days, and people had like a 2-day break and they could come back refreshed. The Saturdays, the production was lower because it was Saturday and no one wanted to be there. And then if you really want to grind production down to zero, make people come in on Sunday.
Yeah.
I feel like anything after 4 o'clock also sort of drops off, or you have guys plant trees in the wrong spot.
Well,
Yeah.
Just to finish
we're all
the day.
together.
Yeah, you
We're all
basically
together, yeah.
any production after 4, you're just redoing the next day anyway.
Yeah. That's
I
like
think
this
it's
6 o'clock work stuff like doesn't work.
a law of
company.
a law of diminishing returns is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we typically are knocking off around 4, and I don't think we've worked a Saturday all year.
What time do you start?
Trying to get to the job site by 7:30. Guys
Yeah.
are usually here at the shop like 7, and then
You
all
don't
depends
usually
on how far the
work
job
outside
is.
half an hour?
What's that?
You don't normally work outside half an hour?
Let me work outside.
Like a drive, like you're saying, start at 7:30.
I try to keep it to half an hour. We've had a lot this year, right between the 30-40 minutes, but so
That's not bad.
I think I'm pretty laid back with that sort of thing.
That's like working
7:30, 7:30, 7:45 at the job site. I mean, sometimes there's extra things to pick up here at the shop or whatever, but I don't know. As long as everyone's being productive and getting stuff done, then
40 minutes is like working two streets over in Toronto. Only working on the next block. That's
yeah. Here it's probably like 30 to 35 miles away.
So, Chad, this guy came to you start of the season or mid-season?
I'd say 2-3 months in, like not
so this was so I feel like a mid-season move could create bitterness.
Yeah.
If it's an off-season to spring move, not a lot of I think there's no right for bitterness. There's no right for bitterness no matter what. This person's just trying to make a better life for themselves.
Yeah, I don't think if they're not getting the hours, I don't think there should be any bitterness, right? They weren't getting the hours.
Yeah.
And you can offer the hours.
I can offer the hours. I can offer unlimited hours if you want to work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the guy still might have some bitterness, right? But I don't think that's really not on you. That's you can't. The guy needs a 40-hour-a-week job, and you can't give it to him. Then
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
they just.
Did you call the guy before you stole the guy?
No. What am I going to call him and say? Hey, your guy wants to come and work for me.
I've done that.
So, it's not like I'm nobody's mother. I'm nobody's babysitter. Like, I don't know if that's the right move.
I'm not saying you're in the wrong. I don't think you're in the wrong at all. I've had people apply for driver positions in particular where I've called and said, "Hey, man, your driver's super pissed. You need to have a conversation with them. You need to work that out."
So you're trying to not employ this guy?
No, I would have employed him. He's a tremendous driver. He's a good person, hard worker. But on the flip side, the company he was coming from is someone I know. And
see, here's my thing. It's not my job to make anybody else's company better. I don't automatically inherit an HR position because someone comes to me and they're not happy about the boss that they work for, right? So that's not a phone call that I would necessarily make unless I was on super good terms with the other business owner.
I would say I would consider him to be a fairly good friend of mine.
Okay, that's a different story. I wouldn't say.
Well, I don't know what your relationship is. Do you just have a waving relationship with this guy?
Yeah, and we'll talk sort of maybe if I see him at the landscape supply yard or whatever. We actually did a job right beside his house. A big pool surround right beside his house while he was living there.
Did you wave at him every morning when he had no hours and didn't go to work?
No. No, I was mostly in the backyard. He was coming and going, I guess, but I don't know. It's
So I mean, we have one of our drivers came from a local company that at the time I knew the guy briefly, but not really well. Like we weren't, and so I didn't call him.
Yeah.
I knew him. His number was in my phone, but interestingly enough, now I'm actually pretty good friends with the guy.
So now you would wave, but at the time when
I'm just saying we ended up with one of his and he ended up with one of ours.
Oh, well, that's just sometimes it's a better fit somewhere else.
Right? I think that's a mature way to look at it. That it was a better fit on both sides.
Yeah,
that exchange was healthy for both the individuals who moved.
So my only other thing is, I can see things that way because I have a surplus of good workers, right? This new guy is coming from a company that had very few, if more than one installer. So to lose an installer and be left with no installers, that seems like more of a hit to take.
If you only have one installer and you can't keep that person busy to get them enough hours, like that person I think should maybe begin to think the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
Like if you only have one installer and you're not keeping that person busy, then I think that person has the right to say, is the writing on the wall here? Is this owner really engaged anymore? If the owner's not engaged and there's only two of us, this is leading only in one direction. Maybe I need to protect myself and look for a more engaging owner.
Sounds like that owner should start a bin business.
Yeah.
So we've had our new bin truck the newer bin truck for 5-6 weeks now, 5 weeks. It has yet to hook a bin. We got really close today. Like we were so fucking close. Brad got the hook working. Cody practiced with it because it's different system than the other system. She practiced with it on Monday evening, hooked bins, put them down, practiced where they needed to go so she could dump the bins because you got to slide them back a bit. She put in the hours.
The Tiger was playing on the radio.
She was full core. She put on a harness and pulled the truck across the yard. I mean, she was hard. She was ready to go. And then this morning she got in it, turned it on, looked at the controller for the hook, and it was flashing all the fucking codes again. Perfect. So there's actually a bin on the truck for the first time ever since we took possession of it. So we were so fucking close to using that truck for something, but it didn't happen.
That truck really looks good. Like that's a good looking truck.
I think it does look. It looked good. Yeah.
It's not making you any money, but it looks good.
No,
and I can appreciate stuff like that.
Chad, you're more rural, right? So are bins a thing over by you, or is that like just Toronto City?
We have like garbage bins, right? Like my partner, he'll hook like construction garbage bins and shit like that. But to get like a fill bin or like a gravel bin or something like that, like everybody runs their own little 5-ton dump trucks and stuff. Yeah. Nobody's hiring bins.
Yeah, that's not really a thing around here either. Like, for aggregates and gravel and spoils and things like that.
Must be a big city thing.
It must be. Yeah.
But
you don't have any like hook lift or I guess even cable rail trucks that do fill bins in New Hampshire?
Well, you'll see like a builder that does it maybe, and he puts his own, construction debris and trash and things like that in there. Or people get them from like, Waste Management or Casella or something like that. But there's really no companies that are just, running bins like you guys do.
Interesting.
I find that super. Yeah.
I think like if you can
get less confident in our business model.
Obviously it works for you, but like if you can get other landscapers on board by maybe waving at them all the time, you could convince them to maybe subscribe to your business model and use your service. Right?
As long as you don't steal their employees, because if you did that, then they're probably not going to hire you.
They're not going to hire you.
Well, the company we have our employee from is actually a good customer of ours.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he ever see his old boss and like?
Well, it's she, but
she, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I've worked on some projects together with them. We move a lot of snow for them. We worked last year with them a lot where our old employee was there and their old employee was there, and we were all working together in a harmonious group to complete the task. So I feel like everyone just has a good, mature outlook about it.
Teamwork.
I know our ex-employee is very happy there. It's perfectly suited for him. And maybe we weren't. And I think that their previous employees super happy with us, I think. I mean, so I think it's just a mature exchange.
Here's something. So one of my workers, and I need the HR perspective on this, has told the other workers that he had a dream about us all working with our tops off.